Hello, you more likely have no clue who I am. I'm Thor, and this is my pal, Void. Now, when you think of the 80s, what are some things that come to mind? Surely you think of ridiculous hairstyles, terrible-looking clothing.
Awesome, though sometimes absurd music, and of course, the jargon.
God. There's so many ridiculous words they made back then, like bogus,
Gnarly,
bodacious,
righteous,
bitches,
tubular.
It got even more horrifying when they started combining them, such as
Totally Rad.
I shit you not, this game exists. Take everything you know about the 80s and cram it into one 8-bit cartridge. That's this game.
Here's the kicker. It wasn't even made in the 80s. It was made in, wait for it, 1991.
So our story starts off with our hero, Jake, and his steady girl, Allison, going downtown in Pop's Chevrolet to get a malt.
Dude, I think your stereotypes are like 30 years off.
Jazzercise! Anyways, we start the game off with Jake learning magics from the almighty floating head that is Zordon Zebediah, Master Magician.
You're in the middle of your training when all of a sudden you're attacked by surprise!
First thing you'll notice right off the bat is that Jake is a young man in blue that shoots lasers from his hands. For some reason, that sounds horribly familiar to another platform that went on to great success that was released around this time period as well. I think it was called Bubble Bobble.
Further ripping off the Mega Man series, you have the ability to transform into several different creatures, each with their own special abilities. You have Cat Form, which gives you a Samus Aran spin jump that makes you invulnerable, as well as a terribly short-range attack. You also have the Ninja Fish Form, which gives you the ability to swim underwater and also raises your attack power.
Not that you need any of these forms for more than 2 minutes, because you can literally just fly over about 90% of your enemies if you use the last transformation, which is a Birdman. You also have access to 4 different AoE spells, all of which have a smart bomb-like effect, but drain heavy amounts of magic.
After flying over the entire level and beating a horridly easy mini-boss, Allison gets stolen. Or something. No, really, that's what the game says. If it's not gonna care, why in the hell should I?
You can't steal people! God. Anyway, after finding out Allison gets stolen,
Or something.
you pursue her captor into a nearby carnival tent.
As if this game hadn't stolen enough from Mega Man already, we're treated to a blatant rip-off of Metars.
Other opponents of interest include exploding balloons, exploding clowns with balloons, oh, and Tim Curry as seen in the Rocky Horror Picture Show as your final boss.
It's just a jump to the left. With your hands on your hips.
After whooping Tim Curry's ass, you're treated to another cutscene with truly inspiring dialogue.
Inspiring you to jump into the nearest freeway.
These cutscenes are terrible. First things first, why does the Master Magician Zebediah have a P on his hat? I think that's a pretty reasonable question, but it's never brought up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zebediah. You're mistaken. Allison wasn't kidnapped. She was stolen. Or something.
What? What the shit do you mean some magic spells are bogus? Why would you teach me magic that doesn't work?
Not that it matters anyways, because all your spells work perfectly fine.
God, I hate this game. Anyways, you're off to the city to go rescue Allison, when all of a sudden, you're attacked by Doogie Howser on a drill-shaped pogo stick and Freddie Mercury.
Stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Stop me now.
And now we're on to the sewer level. What? That's right. You kill 2 famous members of the gay community, and you go hide in a sewer.
We're just gonna skip this level. It's the generic sewer level you expect from every 90s game.
After some repetitive platforming, you encounter boss number 2. What the fuck is this thing?
Jumping tour Pimpla's nightmare?
Ugh. This boss is a complete puss, and once you defeat it, you rescue Allison. However, it turns out Allison's father went to rescue her, and they got him. Which means they stole him. Or something. And now it's your job to rescue his stupid ass.
Now you're lost in a forest, and believe me, that's about as fun as it sounds. There's nothing of interest in this level. And I think even the game developers realized this, so they scrapped it halfway through and made it into a water level instead.
This is the only section of the game where you have to use a form other than the bird. And that's because while underwater, the fish moves the same way the bird does everywhere else. And now you fight a giant anglerfish. Exciting! Believe it or not, this is actually the hardest boss in the whole game, but that's entirely because the fight is underwater. While underwater, your fall speed is greatly reduced, meaning that fish is gonna hit you every single time.
So it turns out Allison's father was kidnapped by people from the underground world, whom Zebediah describes as being intelligent but incredibly ugly.
So into the underground world you go to save Allison's father. This is another easy level until you get to the boss. Oh shit, it's Skeletor, and he looks pissed! Curse you, He-Man, Jake! Well, that was easy. Just like the whole level was.
You enter the final level, and it goes from a simple ripoff of the Mega Man series to a complete carbon copy. I wouldn't be surprised if I just ran across one of the Robot Masters here.
So you continue through the level fighting clones of Doogie Howser and Freddie Mercury, until you come across the most nut-bustingly, childhood-raping mini-boss in any game ever. The only thing I can compare it to is if one of the Battletoads had a seething hatred for magical teenagers and Jufros. This fight took ages to finish, and he wasn't even the final boss.
That honor goes to this guy, who looks like Krang in bad cosplay. Surely, with such a ridiculously hard mini-boss, this fight must be a real challenge. Or not.
After defeating the last boss of the game, you rescue Allison's father. The underground people return home, no longer under Edigy's control. Wait. Who the fuck is Edigy? What is that Krang's name for when he goes LARPing?
So then Zebediah goes back underground to lead his people, because apparently he's one of them. I mean, it makes sense. Who the fuck didn't realize a giant floating head was just a little out of the ordinary? Oh, and he wants to do lunch sometime.
God, this game is a complete joke. The levels suck, the bosses are complete pushovers, and the characters just piss me off. This game haunted my childhood, and to this day, it's still one of the worst piece of shit I've ever played. Can you imagine buying this game brand new and even having a shred of dignity when you got to the cash register?
I can't. It's like nowadays going to buy a used copy of Final Fantasy X too. You have to make up excuses like you're getting it for your little sister or an April Fool's Day joke. God, I am out of here.
Hey, get back here! You did it, you fucking clapped.